Millionaires, what's your secret to becoming wealthy? I've been working as a maid for an extremely rich family, and let me tell you, their parenting style is weirder than those sad beige moms. I came across the job when I was flat out broke from credit card debt and scrolling through Craigslist for a maid job. I wasn't that used to working and cleaning after people, but I was desperate and applied. I got a follow-up interview pretty quickly and thought it was a scam until I met the father himself. He was a well-known wealthy multi-hyphenate, and to be honest, I thought he was going to reject my application right away. He just started quizzing me on my favorite movie and color. I stared at him for a few seconds in shock because I came to this interview stocked with a bunch of filler answers about my weaknesses, and he just asked me some icebreaker questions. So I decided to play around with him and gave extremely odd answers like, my favorite color is salmon. He started cackling at every answer and hired me by the time I started listing why the Winnie the Pooh live-action horror movie was the best movie of all time. He gave me a to-do list on a post-it, and all it said was to cook and pick up his kids from school. I cooked an extravagant meal and spent the rest of the day watching TikToks until it was time to get the kids. When it was finally time, I set up the address on my GPS and noticed something weird. They go to a public school. When I picked them up, I asked if they had any activities I needed to drop them off at, and they just stared at me funny. You can imagine my surprise when the wealthiest 16-year-olds in America told me, "We don't have any extracurriculars, we study at home." Usually, the rich kids are set up with all sorts of fancy language classes and violin lessons so that they can be rich nepotism babies. I took them home and fed them my world-class meal, mac and cheese, and they swallowed it to go to their rooms. I heard the sounds of Roblox the rest of the day and wandered around. I found my boss and asked him about his kids' after-school activities. In his fashion, all he told me was, "The school system sucks." Yeah, no, I wasn't buying it. Sure, the school system sucks, but he wouldn't send his kids there if it meant they were set up for failure. When I went to the mansion the next day, I was prepared to ask the kids what they did and if their father was negligent. I went to the son's room and he was just lying on his beanbag on his phone. All I could think was, who was I kidding? He's one of the richest kids in America. He can afford to waste his life away. Regardless, I asked what he was up to because I wanted to know what was so different about them than the other rich kids I took care of. He completely shocked me, because most kids that get into this give up after a month. He revealed to me that he was investing and trading stocks. I was like, "Oh, does your dad teach you that?" He said no. He told me that his father doesn't believe in the school system. He believes that the most successful people are those who self-study, are true students, and put in their 10,000 hours. His father was so good at many things like music, computer science, and the arts because he was a dedicated learner. After talking with the kid, he showed me that he's been using an investing app to learn. Since elementary school, he has used programs like Duolingo to perfect his Spanish foundations and Coursera to study in his own time and collect certifications, but this is his latest obsession. He grinded the free lessons they gave, skipped the basics, and remarkably within 2 months he made his first profit of $270. The craziest part was his father didn't give him or his sister a dime. They worked for their own money. He saw that the app gave you free money when you invited people over and learned how to flip that. He showed his sister too, who's been learning how to invest in her school finance class, but wanted a leg up since she felt like she wasn't getting anything useful out of it. I've never seen a wealthy family like this. That's probably why I've stuck around with them for so long. It's my second year, and the son has gotten so good his portfolio has grown to have an average return of 11% a year. Imagine what he'll be making next year with that progress. They believe in being self-made and have made all of their money this way. I'm fully aware I'm a maid, but ultimately the only person I serve is myself, so it's my responsibility to invest in myself. I asked the son if he could give me some pointers from the investing app, but he told me, "Nah, the app has everything you'll need. Just start."